President Trump faces mounting pressure from Europeans who want the U.S. to stay true to a landmark climate change agreement. The president is on his final leg of his first overseas trip. He spent today in Sicily meeting with G7 leaders. Correspondent Mark Irons reports from the White House. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Wyatt. European leaders are making a last-ditch effort to stop President Trump from abandoning the Paris Climate Accord. As a candidate, Trump promised to withdraw from the non-binding agreement. The Europeans want to convince Trump to change his mind.
President Trump arriving for the G7 summit in Sicily. He tweeted his priorities for the meetings, writing, "Getting ready to engage G7 leaders on many issues, including economic growth, terrorism, and security." Not on his list, climate change, which is an issue that stands out for the president of the European Council.
We agreed on many areas, first and foremost on counter-terrorism, and I'm sure that I don't have to explain why. But some issues remain open, like climate.
The U.S. signed the Paris Agreement under the Obama administration, pledging to reduce annual greenhouse gas emissions in 2025 by 26 to 28% below 2005 levels. Trump vowed to withdraw the U.S. from the accord when he was campaigning for president. Chief Economic Advisor Gary Cohn clarified the president's position, saying he knows that in the U.S. there's very strong opinions on both sides, but he also knows that Paris has important meaning to many of the European leaders, and he wants to clearly hear what the European leaders have to say. The White House also says the environment is very important to President Trump, but Budget Director Mick Mulvaney says under President Obama, efforts to battle climate change went too far.
Yeah, we want to do some climate science, but we're not going to do some of the crazy stuff the previous administration did.
President Trump also made news today when he and the other G7 leaders signed a joint statement on fighting terrorism. And he and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe agreed to enhance sanctions on North Korea. Wyatt?
Mark Irons reporting from the White House. Thanks, Mark.